Wow, it's definitely been a while. You guys read the video, and today we're gonna be making some flare pants. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chad, I'm your Tall Tailor, and if you've been online anytime recently, you have been seeing a lot of new trends in male fashion space. A lot of cropped thing, baggy pants, gorpcore of course, and one has been flare jeans or like flared pants in general, and I'm gonna show you guys how to make some in this video. Now, this is a great project for beginners because it doesn't take a lot of sewing experience to do. It's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. All you're gonna need is some fabric and pants, obviously, and I'll show you guys how to make some flared pants. That's enough talking, let's get to sewing.
Starting off, we have our pants. This is a pair of black straight cut pants that we'll be altering. First thing we need is some fabric that we'll be using to add the flare. Finding the exact match can be pretty difficult, especially for denim, but try your best to find something that's close enough for you. Alternatively, you can always go in the complete opposite direction and find something that contrasts. Here we have our pants, and we're looking at the inseam, and this is where we'll be adding the fabric. I'm choosing to add the fabric to the inseam, but we can always add it to the outseam or both. It really depends on the look we're going for. The flare will be starting at around the knee area and ending at the hem, so it's best to try on the pants first to determine where you want the flare to start. And we'll be using our seam ripper, or razor blade in my case, to undo all the seams. Side note, if you do plan on using the razor blade, please make sure to be careful because it's really easy to accidentally cut the fabric or yourself. After the hem is dropped, we can iron out the hem and trim off all that excess fraying from the fabric. Bringing back the razor blade, we can now open up the inseam to about 3/4 of the way up the leg. Setting the pants aside for now, let's grab some paper and go over exactly what we just did. This is the side view of the pants with the knee on the top and the hem at the bottom and the inseam going down the middle. To make the pants flared, we'll be increasing the circumference of the hem as well as reducing the circumference of the knee a little bit. Now, if the knee on your pants is already a little bit too tight, then we can just leave that part alone. When splitting the inseam open, we'll be adding a wedge/triangle shape of fabric to the pants, and it looks kind of like this. This one is a perfect isosceles triangle, but your shape might be a little bit different depending on the flare and the style that you want to add. And of course, don't forget to add your seam allowance. With our measurements added, we can now cut out the wedge shape with our donor fabric. With the wedge cut out, we can now line up the sides of the wedge to the inseam, pinning it down so it's nice and secure and ready for the sewing machine. I also overlock the end so it's nice and clean on the inside. Coming back from the sewing machine, this is what one side of the inseam looks like, and we're pretty much going to be repeating this exact same thing on the other side of the inseam, pinning, then stitching it up with our sewing machine. Once that's done, we can optionally take in some fabric from the knee of the pants. Again, make sure to try on your pair of pants and make sure that's something that you actually want to do and it looks good with the style that you have in mind. Lastly, we'll be redoing the hem on these pants. This again depends on the hem that you guys had originally. For this specific pair, I had a 3/8 of an inch fold and then another 1/2 inch fold. But again, whatever hem you had originally on the pants, we're pretty much just gonna be redoing that. And then once we have that done, pin it, sew it with our sewing machine, and then just one quick iron, then we are done.
Wow, look at that. See, I wasn't lying. Really simple, really straightforward, and didn't take too long. It should probably take you like 30 minutes or so, maybe a little bit longer if you're taking your time with the sewing and pinning and stuff and cutting. This is what the pants look like. There's some simple black pants. And yeah, so the flares on the bottom right there. Show some video about what it looks like on body so you guys can kind of get a sense of how the pants fits and how it sits on your shoes and all that kind of stuff. It should be pretty straightforward about how to sew. I think maybe the only difficult thing is probably matching the fabric with the pants that you already have. If you're doing denim, good luck on finding a perfect match because denim, especially if it's washed, pretty difficult to find a match for that. If you're doing like chinos or like black pants or anything like that, getting some fabric that's similar should be pretty simple. You can go to any fabric store, just get some fabric. For these particular pants, I got about, I think 20 centimeters of fabric, and even that, like with the 20 centimeters of fabric, I still had some excess, so you could probably get away with getting less than that. One thing I do want to touch on before we go is how you can change and differentiate these pants from any other flares that you want to do. For this particular pair, I did a really straightforward triangle shape. Wait 1 second. Yeah, see, I drew it out, a pretty straightforward triangle shape. So it's just a triangle. Really simple to stitch into your pants, but if you don't want the look of pretty even taper and you want something a little bit more drastic, you can pretty much change this in any way that you want to do. Triangle is really simple, but let's say you want something a little bit more drastic, you can kind of like stretch out the sides of this a little bit. As long as the entire length is still 18 inches, the floor to your knee, as long as it's still that same measurement, in this case it was 18 inches, you know, you're fine. You can make this as big as you want, as small as you want. You can add different shapes to this triangle, alter it in any way you see fit, and it will change how your flare looks. And it will add a little bit of character, a little bit of fun to the pants. Another thing you could also do is change the color of this fabric. These are black pants. I chose a black piece of fabric to add the flare to it. You don't have to do that. You want black pants with like a red flare or something like that, or like a textured or a patterned flare or something. Go crazy. It's your pants, your fit, you know what I mean? You're gonna be wearing it, not me. So do whatever you want. As long as you like how it looks, it should be good. One last thing too, I did use a serger, an overlock machine to finish the inside of the pants. That's because it's just gonna make it look a little bit better. Of course, if you don't have an overlock machine, just use some zigzag thread. It should be completely fine, and then you should be good. Thank you guys again for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this. If you guys try this yourself, yada, 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 that kind of stuff. Let me know in the comment section down below. Next video, I know I'm gonna do next video. Who knows? Might be a month from now, might be a couple weeks. Stay tuned. Thanks, bye.
Bad bitch, shit, boy, I might say so. Big 40s in a